Welcome to today's lesson. Today we are going to be looking at finding a percentage change. So a good way of comparing price changes, whether they have been increased or decreased, is working out a percentage change. And below I'm going to show you why a percentage change is useful. So the price of a car here has increased from 9,000 to 9,090. So you can see the price has gone up by £90. Secondly then, the price of a guitar has increased from £300 to £390. So again, it's gone up by £90. So although both prices have increased by £90, the increase is far more significant in the guitar because the £300 is much lower than the £9,000 for the car. So this is where a percentage change is useful. It will show you how significant the change is. So to work out a percentage change, we use the following formula. So it's change over original times 100. So what we mean by the change is the difference between the two prices. Remember, you always want to do the biggest number, take away the smallest number. The original means what the price started with. So what was the original price in the question? And then we times by 100 to change it to a percentage. So here we've got the answers for what the car was and the guitar. So the car, 9,000 to 9,090. We said it had gone up by £90, so the change goes on the top of the fraction. 9,000 was the original price for the guitar, and we times by 100, and it gives us 1%. Now if this is a calculator question, you can just type all this in straight away. If it's a non-calculator question, then we need to go over 1 with this 100 to change it to a fraction, and then we cross-cancel. So remember our multiplying fractions. With a guitar, the same thing then. So the price had gone up by £90, so the change is still 90. The original price for the guitar was 300, and we times it by 100. So you can see this percentage change is much larger at 30%. So we knew it was more significant, and it can be shown through a percentage change. Now just to be aware, a percentage change can be called a percentage increase or a percentage decrease, or alternatively they can also call it a percentage profit or percentage loss. So just keep an eye out for those terms, because all of those terms can be used to describe a percentage change. So we're going to have a look at some examples. We're going to start with some non-calculator examples. So question 1, a radio is bought for £16 and then sold for £20. What is the percentage profit? Now it's a profit because you can see the price has gone up. So the first thing we want to do is work out the change, work out the difference between the two prices. So all you're going to do is subtract the two prices, make sure the largest one goes first. So 20, take away 16, gives us 4. Now we need to remember that formula that we had written down. So remember, it's change over original and times by 100. So our change is our 4. It's changed by £4. Our original was our original price for the radio. So our original price was this £16 here. It was bought for 16 originally. And then we want to times by 100. Remember, I said no calculators for this question, so we need to put this 100 over 1 to change it to a fraction, and then we need to cross-cancel. So remember, when we're cross-cancelling, you can either cross-cancel diagonally or top to bottom, creating that bow tie look. So remember, anything from the top of the fraction can be cancelled with anything on the bottom of the fraction. So here, this is standing out that 4 goes into both of these numbers, as 4 and 16 are in the 4 times table. So we'll cancel this down first. So 4 goes into 4 once, and 4 goes into 16 4 times. So that fraction cancels down to a quarter. Here now we've got 100 on the top here, and we have a 4 on the bottom here. So 4 also goes into 100, and it still goes into 4. So we can divide these numbers by 4 as well. So 4 goes into 4 once, and 4 goes into 100 25 times, as 25 times 4 gives you 100. Now you've got ones on the bottom of both fractions, so we can't simplify down any further. So remember, you do top times top and bottom times bottom. So 1 times 25 gives us 25. 1 times 1 gives you 1. So 25 over 1, remember, just means 25. If it's ever over 1, you have to write it as a whole number. And as it's a percentage profit, you need that percentage sign on the end. So your answer is 25%. Question 2 then. A bunch of bananas costing 50p have been reduced to 23p. What is the percentage loss? So we're going to work out the change first. So remember, that's the difference between the two prices. So we're going to do 50, take away 23, gives us 27. Remember, if you can't do it in your head, do a subtraction sign. Now remember our formula, change over original times by 100. So this was our change that we've just worked out, so the 27 goes on the top. The original price, what did the bunch of bananas originally cost? And they cost 50p. So the 50 goes on the bottom and you times it by 100. Again, no calculator for this question, so put the 100 over 1 and we need to cross cancel. Here, the numbers standing out to me that can be simplified down is this diagonal, this 50 and 100. 50 will fit into both. So we're going to cancel the 50. 50 goes into 50 once, and then the 100, 50 goes into 100 twice. So we now have top times top, bottom times bottom, as we have 2 ones on the bottom. So 27 times 2, double 27, gives us 54. 1 times 1 gives you 1, and remember to write it as a whole number. We can't leave the 1 on the bottom to give you 54%. Number 3. So we are going to use a calculator for the next question. So Eddie's wages were increased from £120 to £129.60 per week. What was the percentage increase? So again, we've got 2 prices. We want to start by working out the change, so work out the difference, and then we're going to use that formula. So we're going to work out the difference between these 2 first. Remember, biggest number first. So £129.60, take away 120, and we can see it equals that £9.60. So using that formula, change over original, our £9.60 is our change. Don't worry that it's a decimal, because we can just type it straight into the calculator. The original price was this £120, so the 120 is going to go on the bottom, and we're going to times 100. Now, because this is a calculator question, you can type it in exactly as it looks. So remember, you can use your fraction button here. So press your fraction button first, 960 on the top, 120 on the bottom. Remember to press out of your fraction to type in that times 100, and it should give you the answer of 8%. Number 4 then, again, you can use your calculator for this question. So the population of a country decreases from 2,445,000 to 2,374,220. What is the percentage decrease? So much bigger numbers here now. So luckily we can use our calculators. Take your time typing those long numbers in. So first of all, like before, we need to work out the change between the 2. Biggest number first. Remember, this is your bigger number because it's got a 400,000 in rather than a 300,000. So we're going to do 2,445,000. Take away 2,374,220. Like I said, take your time typing it into your calculator. It should give you 70,780. So that is our change. So remember, we want to put this into our formula now. So 70,780 is going to go on the top of our fraction. And remember, it goes over the original. So the original population was this value here. So 2,445,000 and times 100. Again, type it in as it looks. So fraction button first, 70,780 on the top, 2,445,000 on the bottom of the fraction, press out, and then times 100. Now this answer isn't as nice, so you can see you get a long decimal, so you should get 2.894887. Remember, always write down a few numbers after the point, at least 4 or 5 really, if not write down the whole thing. Percent on the end, and if you want to then you can round it to something sensible, so we normally say 2 decimal places. So remember, there's your point, 1, 2, 4 after, so it's going to stay the same. So 2.89% to 2dp. Last example today then. So this question is taken from a numeracy paper and it's a non-calculated question, so you will not be able to use your calculators. So it says, Olga took out a high interest loan for £400. She paid back £49 per month for 20 months to clear the loan. Calculate the total interest that Olga paid as a percentage of the original loan. So you want to calculate the interest as a percentage. There's your clue. So you're working out the change that she has to pay. So she got £400 from the loan company. She had to pay it back per month for 20 months. So we need to work out how much she actually paid back first. So if it's £49 per month for 20 months, we need to do 49 times 20. Now you can either do a long multiplication here, or you can see that 49 times 2 and add a 0 on the end. So if we double 49, 49 times 2 gives you 98. Don't forget to add that 0 on the end. So you can see Olga paid back £980. So a lot more money than she lent out from the loan. So now we want to work out our percentage change. So the first thing we need to do is work out the difference between the two prices. So remember, she had to pay back 980 and she had 400. So we want to work out the change between those first. So 980, take away 400, gives us £580. So the change is quite large, okay, it's a very high interest loan. So using our formula, we have our change here, so our 580 is going to go on the top. Our original amount goes on the bottom. Now our original amount is the amount that she actually took out. So this is your original here, so your 400. Don't panic that your denominator is lower, because it was such a big amount that she had to pay back. The percentage is going to be very large because it's very significant. And then times by 100. Remember, without our calculator, over 1, so we can cross cancel our fractions. So you can see, hopefully the 100 and 400 is standing out, so we can divide those by 100. So 100 goes into 100 once, and 100 goes into 400 4 times. So that simplifies down. Now we can see this fraction is 1 over 1, so this is almost insignificant here now. But we have 580 over 4, so 580 divided by 4. Now we want to cancel those down. You might want to do a bus stop here. So if I do my bus stop, 580 on the inside, 4 on the outside. So 4 goes into 5 once, carry 1. Into 18, 4 goes in 4 times, carry 2, and into 20 it goes 5 times. So if you wanted to carry on your simplifying, 4 goes into 4 once, and 4 goes into 580 145 times. If we times out then, 145 times 1 gives you 145. 1 times 1 gives you 1. So your final answer is 145%. Now don't panic that your final answer has come out over 100%. Because Olga had to pay back so much money, it was a really significant change. So the percentage is going to be really high, and you can have a percentage change higher than 100.